So I made a video the other day of the Assassin's Creed must-have remakes, basically being every game that came before Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Once I was making that video, I realized that Assassin's Creed Rogue was in a very unique position, and therefore I had to make a separate video going over the remake of Assassin's Creed Rogue. This is because, truthfully, Rogue can't be remade the way Black Flag was, and the way all the games before Black Flag should be remade. Rogue needs more than a remake. It needs an expansion. It needs to be built out over 75% more than it got the chance to be. All of the games before Black Flag are great games for what they are meant to be. But Rogue is not a great game for what it is meant to be. If we take it back for a quick recap, I want to remind you that Rogue was rushed, absolutely rushed. It was made in under a year from scratch. It was thrown together using the Black Flag port to help boost that next-gen transfer from the PS3 to the PS4 or the Xbox 360, so on and so forth, resulting in a very rushed and underdeveloped story. The concept is great, an assassin turned Templar, but that has to be done right. It can't just be, oh, look how goofy and stupid the assassins are, when you've been playing as the assassins for the past 5-6 games. There has to be more of an emotional and in-depth internal conflict. It cannot just be, oh, in this game, the assassins are the bad guys and the Templars are the good guys. The Templars are the bad guys. We just need our protagonist, Shay Cormac, to think he's right, to think he is the good guy, to think he's fixing things for one reason or another. It's fine if there was one assassin that was being a little too selfish to make the rest of the Brotherhood look bad, and if there was one Templar that took Shay in to make him seem like the rest of the Templars are good as well. But it cannot just be chalked up to all of the assassins are suddenly bad people and all of the Templars have suddenly been good guys the entire time. We don't need to agree with the Templars just because they're the protagonists. We just need to understand their motives and why they truly believe they are justified. Or at the very least, why Shay truly feels like he's justified and why Shay believes the Templars are justified in his case. Again, this is truly a product of rushing out a game, of not putting proper time and resources into a game, which if Ubisoft is actually learning from the Black Flag remake, they would know this. There needs to be love and thought and effort put into this story. To put it simply, the game doesn't succeed because we don't get to play as the bad guy, which is a problem I find in most games and films to this day. There's almost never a film or a video game where you will play as the bad guy being a bad guy, because if you are, then you're just really a good guy. Think about movies like Joker or Venom and games like Assassin's Creed Rogue. Before any of these projects came out, you knew all of these characters as the bad guys when you watched or played them on the TV. But then when their individual projects came out, they were genuinely just the good guys at the end. It's like companies are afraid of bad guys being a protagonist. If they are a protagonist, they have to be the good guy, or at most the anti-hero. And that's me getting into a whole nother topic, which I will be making a video about in the future, but let me get back on track. Also, the amazing set piece in this game with the exploration of the cathedral leading to the complete collapse and destruction of Lisbon is one of my favorite set pieces in the entire franchise. I truly wish that amazing set pieces like this was found more often in every single Assassin's Creed game, which is another reason why they shouldn't just completely abandon this game and why they need to bring it back into a remake. Of course, they've only done one remake. Although it was very successful, Rogue should not be the next remake. Ubisoft still needs to prove that they know how to properly remake their older games. After they remake all the other ones, if they do it successfully, then I would be very comfortable with them remaking Rogue in the way that I'm explaining. I want to remind you that I still think all the Assassin's Creed games before Black Flag should be remade well before Rogue. That's my personal preference. On top of that, I think Ubisoft should still continue to make new games. As I've mentioned before, I think alternating between a remake and a new game every year would be ideal. So that being said, we would still have plenty of time before Ubisoft would even have to start the process. Plenty of time before they even have to start working on it. Now, in my last video, I said that all the games before Black Flag needs to be remade exactly the same way Black Flag was. But I want to clarify, Rogue, on the other hand, needs a remake, but not in the same way as the rest of the games. We need a Templar game in an Assassin's Creed world, much like how Odyssey was really just a mercenary game within the Assassin's Creed world. That's what we need for Rogue, minus the RPG stuff, of course. That's why I say, in simple terms, Rogue needs a remake like the rest of the games, but that's just baseline. They need to take the idea of the remake that they used for Black Flag and apply it to Rogue, but then properly and professionally expand Rogue to make it the game it was obviously meant to be. Now, when it comes to the modern day storyline, I really couldn't care less for any of the modern day after the Desmond Miles storyline. I was totally fine that they cut it out from Black Flag, although the one little piece from the modern day that I really liked was the crossover between Black Flag and Watch Dogs. I just really liked personally the idea that the Watch Dogs franchise is the modern day of Assassin's Creed. I really liked the Watch Dogs games, and after playing through all of these historical periods, I like to also jump into the modern day and even the future just for comparing and contrasting all these different time periods. But other than that, the Rogue modern day was no better than the Black Flag modern day. I still very much think that they need to keep the Desmond Miles modern day with the other remakes, but when remaking Rogue, they can definitely remove the modern day, even for the sake of expanding the story similar to Black Flag. Now, I don't want anyone to think I'm saying to just completely erase Rogue and start again. I think Rogue has a lot of great elements. The beginning is amazing. The idea that they're going for is great, and I really like the end and the tying together between the other games, especially if they remade the other games as well. They just need to take the great things that they already had in the original Rogue and add in all of the greatness that's still missing. With the proper time and dedication, they can definitely make this happen. It's just, how often do these game studios get that proper time and dedication? That seems to be what's so hard to come by these days. Regardless, I have hope for a remake like this because when you play the original, you can tell what this game wanted to be and what it could have been, which means that this game really just didn't work out due to a series of unfortunate events. So I guess what I'm really trying to say is, if Ubisoft really is able to prove themselves in the remake business, then Assassin's Creed Rogue might actually have the chance to be the game that no one ever got. For the last part of the video, I also want to go on a small side tangent about the Assassin's Creed 1 remake versus Assassin's Creed 2 remake. I've been seeing a lot of debate over which game should be remade next, with most of the votes being between the first two games. And I personally think either one is completely fine and has a very valid reasons for why either of the two should be up next to be remade. Assassin's Creed 1 is that first game that never got a next-gen update to make it to any other of the consoles after the PS3 for me. And as simplistic as that original game is, it still is a great game as a starting point, as the original Assassin's Creed game. On the other hand, Assassin's Creed 2 is argued by most people to be the peak of Assassin's Creed as a game and as a franchise. It is argued to be the golden age, and will probably be, in my opinion, the most beautiful remake of any of the Assassin's Creed games, in my opinion. I mean, just think of it. The Renaissance, beautiful life and art and fireworks and Italy and culture. I mean, it's gotta be one of the most beautiful games of all time. But I can totally see Ubisoft wanting to remake the Ezio trilogy with AC2, Brotherhood, and Revelations as a whole instead of just one game at a time. If they were to do that, it would make sense to go back to the first one and remake that one first. But I can't put it past Ubisoft to assume that they'll want the most money they can get, so they'll probably honestly release each Ezio game one at a time at full price. But either way, I want to remind you all that as long as they stick to the very same faithfulness that they were able to prove they can do with Black Flag, then we don't have to worry about which remake comes first, second, or last. With the outstanding sales they got from Black Flag, I am very positive that they'll continue to do remakes of all the games before Black Flag at the very least. As long as they prove to us with each remake they can do it just as good as each time, I'm sure they'll want to remake all of the games so that all of the games of the franchise have a nice coherency with their quality, look, and performance. Regardless though, that's my thoughts on Assassin's Creed Rogue. Please let me know what you guys think. There are so many different ways to approach remakes with Assassin's Creed. I got more video game and movie topics to talk about, so let me know what you guys think in the meantime.